good afternoon. That shouldn't have been the screen to start off with, but it wouldn't be a Grizz Khan show without technical issues and errors, and basically haven't got a clue. But saying all that, you're still all very welcome. I know you would have liked me messing up on the opening screen, so just hit a like just for that. Hope you're all doing well wherever you're tuning on from. As you can see, I'm doing real good. I've been wearing this hat all day, Eunice. And I decided to just continue wearing it, even though the sun is slowly setting. I'm sitting in the back of my conservatory, but because it fit. Because look, the backstory to this, Eunice. By the way, of course, Eunice talks football. Eunice is with me today. Thank you so much for coming onto my channel again.
No problem. Where are you at the moment? I mean, you look like you're in you look like you're in Spain or Dominican Republic. Were you with expressions out there or something? What's going on? This
is it. This is the optical illusion this hat plays on people. So you wear this hat, you have a backdrop of clear blue skies, and nobody knows where you are.
You're on holiday.
No, I'm in Luton.
Costa del Luton, yeah.
Costa del Luton. But could you tell? No one can tell where I am. And that's the way it should be. Well, I've told everyone that. I've given it up now, but people, so much to talk about, so much to get through. We're going to try to get as many talking points across. Eunice, of course, I brought on for a specific reason. And for a specific reason, he's one of the best Chelsea people out there. Of course, I forgot to put his link in the description, but I will make sure I do that afterwards. I'm so sorry. I was just going to say, check out Eunice Talks Football, but the name's there. Eunice, so much to get through, man. I don't know where to start. Well, I guess there is only one way to start, which I had the screen up, and it shouldn't have been up, but we can put it up now. I've spoken about this a couple of times. I've tweeted about it a couple of times, and It started off as a ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Right? But we're slowly, as the days progress, it's slowly coming out that this could be a possibility. Just your thoughts on the whole Ronaldo situation and him being linked with you. And then you can go on possibly to say, would you be okay with it remotely? Leave it to you.
I mean, yeah, first what seemed like was just, as you said, like a ha-ha. Like, great banter. You're funny. It's turned into, I think it's going to happen. If I'm being real, I think it's going to happen. I think Chelsea are the only logical option on the table. And if Ronaldo gets a move away, which it seems like he wants and he's pushing for, albeit everyone and their mothers confirmed that he is actually away because of family reasons. Like, there is a legit reason. It's not him on strike and then camouflaging it. But then again, you never know, although I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt. Slowly but surely, it seems like, Chelsea are the only option on the table. Bayern Munich would have been another option, but Oliver Kahn has spoken and said that they're not really going to go in for Ronaldo. They're not going in that direction. Napoli, I don't even know if they can even afford remotely of what he would be able to have as wages. PSG are not interested. He wants Champions League football. We're the ones that have spoken to his agent. And not just because of Ronaldo, but because of other players too and other things. But to build that relationship, Ronaldo wants to leave United. He wants to play Champions League football. The only place to go to is Chelsea. And for what is rumored of 13, 14 million, it seems to be the rumored fee popping around today. I think if Thomas Tuchel gives the go-ahead, because it's going to be his decision, but would he turn down an opportunity like that? I think it's going to happen.
The key part of everything you said there, and as I said, I tweeted it as a laugh, and then someone that I know who's very well connected at Manchester United, then suggested to me, no, it's a possibility. It's a very strong possibility. And then I told Matisse in private, I said, I'm telling you, this guy is very connected to Man United. And he blew his top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a laughing matter if you're looking at it from the outside. But if we tried to break it down, right, Eunice, and what you said was so true, because it's a matter of his options. So it's okay, and I'm so glad you pointed out why he's is said to be absent, because in no way do we doubt why he's not at Man United, because if it's anything to do with family, he has every right to take as long as he wants and as he needs, especially after the tragic death of his child. Was it last season? Yes, it was last season. So first and foremost, disclaimer, like, we absolutely wish him all the best if there's any kind of issues with regards to his family. Definitely, and thanks for pointing it out there and reminding me as well, first and foremost, because banter aside, that's a whole different world out there when it comes to your family. But if it's very clear and apparent, and it does seem that he's really adamant that he wants to leave Man United, you're spot on. Where does he go next, Eunice? I spoke about this last night on last night's Daily Show. The options are just not there. And the clubs that you mentioned, Eunice, why don't they want him, do you think? So for example, you said Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich are one of the most professionally run clubs in the world. There's no chance of him going back to Real Madrid. Barcelona, no chance. Real Madrid, I don't think none of the Italian clubs are in any position to do anything about it. Realistically, why don't any of these, Liverpool, Manchester City, forget about it. Why wouldn't any of these clubs be interested in this type of deal, in your opinion?
I mean, with Bayern Munich, it can go either one or two ways, because they've still got Lewandowski. And even though he handed in that request and he wants to go to Barca, we're now hearing day by day things are coming out about Barcelona, and it doesn't even look like they're remotely close to being capable of what they want to do.
Yeah.
And if Lewandowski sticks around at Bayern Munich, what's the point of getting a Ronaldo and having to pay those wages when, you know, Lewandowski's still there? Albeit he might not be happy about that, but at the end of the day, if he can't go to Barcelona, he's going to have to deal with it. So there's that option. You get someone who is 3 years younger and has been banging in goals for you for fun. There's no point. So there's that. Ultimately, the other reason could be because of the reason that I think some Chelsea fans don't want Ronaldo, which is, okay, 37. We want to look long term. We don't want to have to, you know, even take a stopgap for one season. Even if he brings goals, we want to be able to try and invest maybe in someone new, someone young, or even if it's Kai Havertz, for example, give him a season. I think Bayern Munich could be thinking on that aspect too. But the options right now for Ronaldo are scarce. And I know from a marketing perspective, from a business standpoint, with the Premier League being the most, you know, out there league in world football, and you know, all the advertising and marketing that's involved, all the eyes across the world are on the Premier League. Todd Boehly's not stupid, and he knows that if Ronaldo comes in, my goodness, like on a business standpoint, that's outrageous. And shirt sales and whatnot are not necessarily a big factor to focus on, because Nike probably take more money than Chelsea in that regard. They've already given us money for that sponsorship, so there's that. But on a marketing level, as a brand, Chelsea will be taken to another level. But Thomas Tuchel needs to give the go-ahead on the footballing side. And that's the whole point. We're now waiting on Tuchel, because Todd Boehly is giving him the green light to do and get what he wants. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. The options right now, apart from, you could say, Bayern Munich, and now they've now pulled themselves, there's no one else that can come remotely close to paying his salary, even if he takes a pay cut, which I think he would, because he has to be realistic. He's not 25. He's 37, and he's pushing for Champions League football. He's going to have to take a pay cut. He's not going to get paid 500 grand a week. And Chelsea will probably know that. So even if he takes a pay cut, he'll still be one of the highest earners. He gets Champions League football. He'll get that last hurrah at the highest level, and then he'll probably retire. So,
you know, so everything you said that I agree with. And this was the fear from Chelsea fans, wasn't it? That is this the owner flexing his muscles, so to speak? He's come in. I was shout out the Gold Diggers podcast. I was on a Gold Diggers podcast last night, and one of the questions was, Todd Boehly's come in, and it seems to be he's doing all his business out in the open, in the eyes of the media. And I was smiling, and then she asked me, for people that can't see this, because it's an audio podcast, Grizz is smiling away whilst she was talking about sort of Todd Boehly doing all this in the open, getting hijacked left, right, and centre, people asking for crazy amounts. And I said, well, I'm smiling because it's exactly how you describe a newbie to this game.
Yeah.
And that's what he is. This is how a newbie comes in, a lot of money, but not a lot of know-how, especially in the field of transfers, agents. And he's trying to make a splash. He's going to the main agents, the big boys of all the players, and saying, what you got for me? What can we do? And the key part of this, because I totally agree with you, this is literally down to Tommy Tuchel. If he gives the go-ahead, this is done deal.
Yep.
This is happening. And Chelsea fans need to realize this. I want to ask you, from what you have seen of Tommy Tuchel so far and how he's been around the club and so how he's spoken, do you see him giving this a go-ahead? And if so, is he the first person to get sacked by Christmas? No, because this is, I'm telling you now, I can't see Tommy Tuchel letting this happen. If it happens, that's a death wish. That's all I'm saying to you.
But you know what? Realistically, before, when this was just a little rumor, I'd look at this and go, nah, Tuchel, I don't think will approve. I think as each day passes by, I'm starting to think that, yeah, you know what? Maybe there's a chance here. Yeah, because, and it depends. I don't think anyone truly knows the answer. Not even maybe those within Chelsea Football Club. Or maybe only the ones really close to Tuchel will have any sort of idea of what's in his head. Maybe not even some squad members know what's in his head, because he's not going to elaborate everything and any thought with the squad. So we're far from knowing. Just as a guess, I think he would want better options. But that's the thing. There are no other options. Right now, the market is quite scarce. And you'd think Gabriel Jesus would have been an option, gone to Arsenal. Richarlison maybe, gone to Spurs. Lewandowski will definitely not bounce away unless it's Barcelona. Who else do you go for after we've just let go of Lukaku? Do we actually stick Havertz up front for the whole season? Do we give that much responsibility to Broja when there's clubs snooping around and it looks like he could even leave, at least on a loan? Or are we able to retain him? But even if we do, we've got just Havertz and Broja. Or do we give Werner a chance up top again? And that's just, you know. So when you look at the options, you think for a season, right? Or two, because that's all Ronaldo has left, right? It's a season or two, I think, max. Even though he thinks he's got maybe about 4 years at the highest level, and I can see physically why he would think that. The guy's a machine. He's operating right now at 37 like he's operating at 30. You know, he's that level. So physically, you don't really have to worry that much. In the same way, we don't need to worry about Thiago Silva that much, albeit he's a defender. But for 1 or 2 seasons, I think Ronaldo can still hack it. And it gives time for us to look into the next window, the next summer window, to see what options pop up if we're able to get another striker in or someone in that's going to actually lead the line. Some Chelsea fans argue, no, just give it to Havertz and we'll be fine. It's down to Tuchel. But I think as day by day goes by and the striking options are not actually out there, I think Ronaldo becomes a bigger and bigger possibility.
I'll tell you why I suggested that it would be the end of Tuchel if this was to backfire. If he gave it the go-ahead and if it was to backfire, sorry. So there's a lot of ifs involved. I think after the Lukaku debacle, Yunus, he needs to get this right. Now, I know when I say him, I mean Chelsea. Of course, it's obvious that Lukaku wasn't his choice. Well, tell me it wasn't.
Well, even we don't know.
Okay.
You hear some things going that he gave the green light. It wasn't his choice, but he ended up giving approval. There were some saying that he personally was in touch with Lukaku. There were some saying that, oh no, he wanted Haaland all day long. Lukaku showed up. He had to deal with it. Yeah. It's hard to know.
But it's the same thing, though. You're seeing the same thing. So, for example, he maybe wanted a couple of strikers before Lukaku. But again, you got to a point in the window where you started probably saying, what else is there? It's Lukaku or bust. Not bust, but no striker, maybe.
Yep.
Right? I think you don't want to be in that position, man. You don't want to be in a position where you're saying it's Ronaldo. You know what it reminds me of us? And I'm not comparing players. Wow, there's a difference in eliteness. But Liverpool, a long time ago, Brendan Rodgers was given the choice, well, it's Balotelli or no one. And he openly admitted he just went for Balotelli. Just on the back of it, on the face of the name, you just thought, all right, Balotelli, I've got a striker. Otherwise, it was Lambert. You know, go through the season with Lambert up front. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Your situation is different. You've got money. Your owner wants to make a razzmatazz of a signing.
Yep.
I tried to make sense of the Ronaldo signing for you guys because I said, what do you guys lack? You guys lack a finisher. And Ronaldo doesn't move. He's very immobile. There was a statistic someone came out on the show yesterday. He's the worst presser out of the whole attackers in the league, like out of the whole leagues, right? But what he is an elite finisher of a move. He's an elite goal scorer. You give him a chance, he will score. Chelsea's issue isn't creating chances from what I know, from what I see. You'll know much more. But you seem to create a lot of chances. You've brought in Sterling, which I've got my questions about, Yunus. I know me and you haven't spoken about it, but I've been very vocal in terms of, I think, again, Raheem Sterling is an elite chance creator. Raheem Sterling has elite movement. Raheem Sterling is not a great finisher. He will add to your woes when it comes to pulling your hair out and going mad at chances being squandered by the likes of Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, etc., etc. Sterling will create more chances for you, but not necessarily score more for you, right? Ronaldo, if you add Ronaldo to that mix, that could work. That's my only thing that I'm thinking. I see where you're seeing it work as well, because I think it seems like you're in favor of it slightly, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely more in favor of it than against it now.
Okay. And is it because of based on what?
Well, on that basis, to be honest, is spot on as far as I'm concerned. If we just got Ronaldo on his own and we didn't get anyone else in, I'd be like, well, this isn't going to work. We're going to have the same problems as Lukaku. But with Sterling, with even now possibly still Rafinha, because there's a whole Barcelona thing going on at the moment, and it doesn't look like they're actually going to close that deal.
That's a total new attack.
That's a totally new attack. And with the amount of directness that we actually need, someone that's able to be direct on the ball, is able to create, is able to get himself into the box, link up fast, and be able to create that vast movement. You have a Ronaldo with him. If we got another winger, for example, like a Rafinha or someone else on that right-hand side that can contribute, the new front line, I think Ronaldo gets fed. On top of that, Reece James and Ben Chilwell. And that's going to add to it because the amount of times Reece James, for example, is able to ping a ball and it's spot on and there's no one on the end. There's no one to finish it. There's no one, or Lukaku gets a chance and he hits it wide 9 times out of 10. Ronaldo just doesn't. You just know he doesn't. And that's the pros that come with getting Ronaldo if you have the right men around him. And I think Chelsea have much more right men around him if he were to come than he's had at Man United the past season. Because that United team, I think a lot of people seem to have underestimated just how bad that United team was, especially under Oli. And then with Rangnick, there was no stability. You got players that basically didn't care. And Ronaldo, because Ronaldo's not Superman. I mean, he's not going to flip in, just take the entire team and save the club. He's not going to do that. But you have the right people around him. I think Sterling could be one of them. And if we were to get a Rafinha or someone else in as well, that could help him too. There's multiple things where I see, at least for one season, maybe 2, it would buy us time. And it would get us the goals that I think we need and that we've been lacking because we just miss for fun. And it's crazy the amount of times we miss for fun. So hopefully that ends. But also, I have to say, there's a little boy in me as well. I know, as a football fan.
Don't go there.
That's like
you're falling for it. You're doing it.
You know what? Listen.
Are you ready to
it's
start?
Good to be. No. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. No. You court admitted it. You said what I'm going to say is to be able to see someone like Ronaldo, albeit it's not Ronaldo of 10 years ago. Yeah, nowhere near. But he's not finished, as far as I'm concerned, yet. And I feel like in terms of goals and what we've been needing, I think there are going to be good moments if he does come into this team in aspects where we actually need him. And that fan side is like, oh my God, yeah, Ronaldo at Chelsea banging in goals. That's unheard of. That's something no one would have ever thought would happen. So, yeah.
Okay, that's the Ronaldo chat of the way. Watch this space. As I said, if Tommy Tuchel gives that the go-ahead, if he's given
his decision, yeah.
I was going to say, first and foremost, he must be given the decision. He must be given the because otherwise it's asking for trouble. If your owner just goes in there and gets him, regardless of what the coach thinks, then that's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. And one point that you made earlier, which I wanted to bring up, if it didn't work, right? If it went a bit pear-shaped, I don't think Tuchel's under threat as much as he would have been if it was Roman. If it was Roman, yes,
because of the owner wants it.
The new owner, he wants it, at least on a business standpoint.
Good point.
And the whole basis of him coming in is his pitch, let's say, was, I'm going to give Thomas Tuchel exactly what he needs and what he wants. And basically, on the football standpoint, without a sporting director, TT's the boss. And Todd Boehly's like, yeah, I'm with you on this. I have your back all the way. So even if it goes wrong, there are elements of Todd Boehly that's, we're here for the long run. We're here to try and do what Liverpool done with Klopp, what you guys done with Klopp, what City have done with Pep. This isn't going to be a one-season thing. Oh, I've had enough. Get rid. I'm here to give you the backing for multiple seasons and to try and build something. So I don't feel like Tuchel will be under threat. I
agree with you, actually, the way you've explained that side. But I'm also in agreement with none of your business. It says, I mean, it's none of your business as well. But he says this stinks of Torres Shevchenko all over again. Is there any? Well, there is a fear of that. There's always a fear of that, right? Because it's so recent. The graveyard of strikers.
But the circumstances are completely different.
I'm probably sure you said that for every single striker that came.
No, but you know what? Shevchenko, for example, brought in by Roman. Mourinho didn't even know. Showed up at the training ground. Flopped. Okay. Torres was a sneaky one by you guys because he ended up showing up with an injury we didn't know about. His knee, I think, was completely busted. And
I loved it.
Just on constant injection. And then you sold him to us for 50 million. And we're like, yeah, we got Torres. No, we didn't. We got a one-legged Torres.
Yeah. you didn't get Torres. But let's see how that one pans out. Let's see how it happens. It's interesting. It started off as a really, and then now it's turning into a really, so let's see how that goes. There's over nearly 250 of you in here. Please like the stream while you're here. We're going to try to go through a few more things. And the next one that I want to touch upon is the Frankie de Jong. So we know you're after a forward. You've got Raheem Sterling pretty much in the back. Rafinha's up in the air. Very quickly, if you don't get Rafinha, is there any other attackers that are being rumored? Are you definitely going to go and get a right winger as well? Or was it Rafinha or Sterling?
No. The plan was both. The plan was either Rafinha or Dembele.
Okay.
And obviously Barca are involved in both of those, so we're kind of in a hole with that one. But
what's going on with you guys and Barcelona? We're going to get into it. Yeah, it's mental.
Barca, they're like a rash that won't go away, right? And it's not even a rash that's life-threatening. You're looking at this going, yeah, no, this isn't going to bother me. It's fine, but you're still here. You're still here. Go away, because they've got big issues that I think a lot of people have underestimated as well, even though everyone knows their financial problems, but it's deeper than we think. And yeah, with our right winger situation, we've wanted Rafinha. Ziyech is on the way out. Apart from that and the whole Dembele scenario, there's not really been anyone mentioned except for I've seen little whispers of a Rafael Leao, for example.
No chance.
I don't see that happening. Apart from that, nothing much. But again, it's only because I think Chelsea's offer for Rafinha still is on the table and it's been accepted and it's there. And we're waiting because I think Chelsea are playing the long game with this. I think they know with Barca, despite him wanting Barca, he's still open to a Chelsea move. And I don't think this Barca move is going to happen. So Chelsea are like, we'll just hang about. We'll just wait.
It's amazing how it's all panning out. It's proper. Every day there's like sort of new rumors, new targets, new stories emanating. He doesn't want you. He does want you, Barcelona. I haven't got the money, but they're saying hold tight. We might raise the money. So many moving parts, and another one of those players that sort of. I thought the problem was Man United and Barcelona's, but suddenly you pipe up and Frankie de Jong interest as well. Or do you think this is just tactical moves?
This is the thing.
Between the clubs. Okay.
This is the thing. I honestly, as much as I appreciate it, and I think there might be something there, maybe of interest, but I think Barca journalists, I want to stress, Barca and their journalists, because they all seem to be on the same page here. The Spanish media or the Barca media, I think all seem to be spouting the same thing, that the club wants them to let out. And I feel like right now this has probably been put out in order to get Man United to start acting faster, because De Jong is apparently, according to the Telegraph today, owed £17 million in wages.
Yep.
PK is owed 30. Busquets is owed 15. That just gives you a remote overview of exactly how much mess Barca are in. And they apparently want to allow De Jong to leave, but not having to pay all those wages. I think about 3 million they're willing to give, but Man United to just take the player and go. But Man United have to pay up the money. And I feel like with a rumor like this, Chelsea are now interested. Maybe Man United will go, oh, crap. Okay, we need to act a bit quicker. And I feel like that's what Barca want. I don't necessarily think Chelsea are going to go for De Jong, and I don't think we're going to get him. I don't think there's even a legit, proper link that, a bid come in. I don't think that's the case. I think this is more Barca created than Chelsea going in for De Jong. But we'll see.
Well, something else we'll see again. Just people are letting us know in the chat that there is more breaking news, and it concerns Chelsea again.
Oh, blood! What's happened now?
So now we're being told Todd Boehly has just been spotted in Barcelona, or Barcelona Airport, I should say. Was it Barcelona Airport? People, let us right now, or was it at the club? The meeting between Todd Boehly and Barcelona board for Azpilicueta, Alonso, and other topics is scheduled in the coming hours. Boehly will directly take care of the negotiations as always. Just very quickly, are you okay with him taking full care of the negotiations, or has he not got a choice yet because he hasn't appointed a sporting director because he sacked the previous one?
Exactly, yeah, he hasn't. So, no, to be honest, with Todd Boehly, I'm actually, personally, I'm quite impressed.
Okay.
I'm quite impressed. I mean, the speed he's moving at for someone who's new, for someone that's come in, made all these decisions, got the Lukaku thing sorted, dashed the board, Marina left, Buck left, Czech left. Since that point onwards, it's been ruthless. He's been here, he's been there, he's been everywhere.
But he's had to, though, hasn't he, Eunice? To be fair to him, he's had to.
And yeah, I mean, we're back with closing the Sterling deal. He got a bid accepted by Leeds for Rafinha. He's met personally with George Mendes. He's spoken the whole Ronaldo stuff and more. Now he's doing this. He's over in Barca. I mean, he's for someone who's new and we needed loads of signings. He's acting, as far as I'm concerned, as quickly as he can. I don't think he can go any faster. So, fair play.
What's this about, in your opinion? We don't know yet. Apparently, he just laughed and didn't say nothing to the reporters. What's this trip to Barcelona about? Because it could be fucking anything, right? But it surely is for one of their players, because he wouldn't fly there to talk about Alonso and Azpilicueta, right?
This is the thing. We're talking about De Jong, right? Yeah. There's also the whole Dembele scenario, even though right now he's not contracted to Barcelona. He's not contracted to them. He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. So they won't be for that. Right?
So I don't think that's really going to be on the table. We have to talk with Dembele. But if he's flying out to Barca, maybe what I initially thought of De Jong is probably being pushed by journalists. Maybe there is some substance. Maybe we are going for a De Jong. And going with us, there's leverage. We've got Champions League football, and they want Alonso and Azpilicueta, and they've made that public. They want Alonso, they want Aspi, and they want the move to Barca too. So
that's mad. They've literally taken your defense, want your defense. This is mental. How it's.
They got Christensen already.
That's what I mean. And now they're taking on the verge of or wanting to take Azpilicueta, who's more closer apparently. Well, we don't know. So, but this is what I don't understand though about your strategy. You've gone for Rafinha, and you're in for Ronaldo, and now it seems like you're in for Frankie de Jong. Do you see the strategy behind this in terms of are those other positions or types of players that you would have targeted in this window?
You know what? I think there's a strategy, but I also think there's players that's popping up onto our radar. It's not us pursuing players. Yeah. It's just things are happening. Things just pop up. Ronaldo's an example. Ronaldo wasn't a case of Chelsea going to try and find Ronaldo.
It wasn't a target.
Was George Mendes that spoke with Boehly and gave him the option. And at that point, it's like, oh, okay, thanks for telling me. Now we've got an option to discuss. You know, now Ronaldo is something we have to consider. It wasn't us going, we want Ronaldo. Yeah, exactly. So you look at Sterling, for example, we wanted him. Rafinha, whether we wanted him or eventually we wanted him, but we wanted him. There we are, put in a bid. In terms of defenders, there are defenders that we're going after. We've spoken with 5. We just have to find... We've spoken with Ake, spoken with De Ligt, spoken with Koulibaly. Apparently, we've spoken with Kimpembe. There's another one that I think I'm missing out here. But there's...
Nathan Ake.
Yeah, I've mentioned Ake, right?
Oh, sorry. Ake, De Ligt,
Koundé. But again, this is the thing with Koundé. That's gone cold as soon as Marina and them lot left. So that probably gives the indication that was a club target, not a Tuchel target. If not, we would have still pursued. And we would have put in the bid because Sevilla are ready to let him go. So that's the thing. We've got loads of things cooking. And it's about narrowing it down. But in the meantime, players are popping up. Like Ronaldo's popped up. Now De Jong is popping up if that is the case. And we're going to Barca to probably discuss Alonso and Aspie. But we know De Jong's going to be on the table as a discussion. Well, now we're entertaining that. So... yeah, it's one of those things. So I get the strategy. Defense is priority. Sterling was a priority. Probably Rafinha is going to be priority. And then after that, it's about maybe finding an attacker up top, or as well as that, a defensive midfielder at the end of the window. I think we're going to go for Declan Rice at the end of the window. I'm just saying that. But that's at the end. So, yeah.
I mean, that is some summer. That will be some sort of budget if you're actually saying after all that, like the players that you mentioned, you're going to absolutely go for De Ligt on the last week or whatever. You're talking 100 million plus for De Ligt. You still think you're going to push that?
Could be subsidized a bit, I guess. Could be pushed down because they apparently have interest in some players, even though they don't want to swap.
They want Borja, don't they?
No. They wanted. There was interest in Jorginho and Timo Werner by Juventus, but to do it separately, not a swap deal for De Ligt, as in they still want cash, but maybe afterwards there can be discussion on Jorginho or Werner, depending if they want to take any of them. But the money in terms of De Ligt, probably talking about 80 million or so.
I think De Ligt's gone. I think De Ligt's gone out of your grasp. I think Bayern will take De Ligt.
That's the thing. We're competing with Bayern. But with money, that's the thing. Apparently, we're still ahead. So it just depends who's putting the more money on the table right now. And the same goes for Barcelona right now. They're in that mode.
We've tried to get to the bottom of some Chelsea transfers. We have got nowhere. We have got nowhere. We have got nowhere. But it's been amazing having you on for 30 minutes. I know you had to rush and it was a quick appearance. I really, really appreciate your time as always. Hope to get you on again. Hopefully we try and do this next week, see if anything's happened. I'm going to keep stressing you and see if you've got time in your diary. I know definitely. You're busy, but it'll be great to have another chat and see where we're at, because this is building up to be a mad window for Chelsea. But it had to be, right? Because with all the outgoings and with all the turmoil behind the scenes, it had to be a mad window. But Yunus, thank you very much for your time. We're going to catch up real soon. It's been a pleasure as always, my man. Definitely. Thank you for having me on, man. And we'll definitely look forward to the next one. And to everyone, thank you so much. Take care. Have a good one. See you later. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. People, that has been Yunus. Don't forget to check out his channel as well. He is only on for a half an hour because he had to go somewhere. But we've got so much to carry on talking about. And I've got young Omar who's taken time out. Hold on. Oh, no, Love Island's not on yet, so that's why you've got time for me. But what's happening? You all right? Everything good?
Yeah, not too bad. Joe Gomez, happy days. I'm sure we're going to get into that.
Well, let's get into it right now.
Yeah,
You carry on talking while I find something.
yeah, guys. Let us know what you think about the Joe Gomez deal in the chat. For me, you now look at the 4 centre backs, and I'm thinking, wow, like in terms of centre back depth in Europe, in the world, there's no better. Oh, Grizz, nice hat by the way.
Thank you.
Um,
Amazing hat.
Yeah, no, it's very nice. It belongs at Wimbledon. Yeah. MK says, "Ain't no." One, he's got a great song, "Ain't Nobody Like Joe Gomez," and two, he's so young, and the talent on this boy is limitless. Like people forget how good he was. I remember someone highlighted the period in lockdown where
You frozen?
and Van Dijk were injured.
Yep.
And I think it was Atalanta away. And he just absolutely bossed it as the senior centre back. So it's great news, and it's good that we can have these sort of players that have been on the fringe staying.
I'm chuffed with this, Holmes. I'm absolutely chuffed with this move. I think there was a very not strong. I don't know about strong, but I think there was a possibility that we may have got him thinking and worried in terms of his career long term because of the emergence of Khanage, because of the fitness levels, and hopefully they carry on of Joe Matip. I thought Joe Gomez might have contemplated moving away, even if it was just for a loan, just to sort of get some regular game time. So I'm chuffed to see this because I think the world of him. I mean, he tweeted himself, he says, "Grateful to call this club home and hungrier than ever to achieve more. The journey continues." I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I think, name me a club that's got better 4 centre-backs in world football right now.
You know what is crazy as well? Because one, I don't think there's anyone, and two, from the situation we were in literally 2 seasons ago with Kabak, Phillips, Williams. No disrespect to them guys, but it's incredible where we are just with the signing of Khanage and our centre back staying fit. I don't think he would have signed this deal if he wasn't like sort of guaranteed game time. I think still for someone that young, you need to have game time, and in his mind, he still probably wants to get back into the England setup. For me, if he was given a run of games, there's absolutely no doubt that he walks into the England back line. So I think with Matip's age, I know he had a fully fit season last year, but historically, Joel Matip has picked up injuries. All of a sudden, Joe Gomez is the third choice centre back, and Khanage, amazing, but you can't go into a season like we know with 2 centre backs and expect it to be fine. So I think he's played a probability game here and said, chances are I am going to get my chances. And look, I think he will get his chances this year. It'll be if all of our centre backs stay fit as they did last season, perfect, absolutely perfect. But on the balance of probabilities, someone might get injured, and
not only that, look at the vast amount of games we play, Omar. Like we reached every single cup, every game, every league game. So we played every cup game we played. So and also like none of your business says great. Like how would we have looked to replace him? If you're looking at a caliber of Joe Gomez, for me, gets into every other Premier League team.
Yeah,
and I think most teams in Europe. That's how highly I rate him. Most teams in Europe.
Yeah.
How do you find someone like that? He's still only 25, like someone said. We can't believe he's in 25. And obviously loads of people talking about in terms of his speed and the way we play, he's just so suited. And that understanding he had with Virgil van Dijk was immense. Not only the understanding on the pitch, but they've got such a friendship off the pitch.
Yeah.
It just ties in. And do you remember when Virgil done that? I can't remember what shoot it was, and they're talking about sort of here's the future, and he pointed to Khanage and Gomez. My God, fingers crossed, and all of that, and prayers, and wherever everyone believes in positive thoughts, that is our centre back pairing for at least the next 5 to 7 years, right, Holmes?
Yep. I mean, it's not even that Van Dijk and Matip are old. Like Van Dijk and Matip, I'm like the way centre backs are, the way footballers are now. You can play until your mid to late 30s, but the luxury we have in Khanage and Gomez is, say, both of them or one of Matip and Van Dijk don't sort of keep that super high level of form that they've shown, then you have two of the best young centre backs in Europe. I won't say like the two best, but they're definitely up there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course they are.
Just slotting into the team, and Gomez knows this team like he's been here for a long time now. Grizz, he's been here since
He's the second longest serving after Jordan Henderson.
Yeah,
check that out.
Yeah, so I think people take for granted like how. I think because of the injuries, he's missed a few seasons. People forget that he knows the club. He knows everything about the club. He knows the values, absolutely everything, and he's versatile. He came into the team.
Good point. We forget that. That his versatility helped us last season. Do you remember? It gave Trent a few games to rest, and I think that would be amazing. Even though we've brought in Calvin Ramsey is an absolute young kid who there will be some games that he will get a run out.
Yeah.
Right. So run out's different from actually playing the whole game like Joe Gomez will play.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think Gomez, he probably wants to play as a centre back. That's what he is as a player. But at right back, he didn't put a foot wrong, to be honest. I think he surprised us all with his actual ability on like in like an attacking position on the ball. His crossing, like really good crosses. Rapid, getting up and down the wing. He wasn't just there to play as a third centre back.
You can see he's been working on it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the news just gets better, Grizz. To be honest, this summer it just gets better.
Anada Stark sends in a super chat, says Gomez can still improve, needs to play more. No one's denying that he's the finished article. He can definitely improve, but why not improve at the best club in the world? I'd want him to improve at my club, and he's staying here. Let him improve. As I said, I can't think of a better ready-made replacement. If we were to go in the market, we'd need to spend 50 million again just to find someone of that caliber, unless we try to buy someone young and then sort of.
Yeah, we'd have to find another gem, which, to be honest, I wouldn't put it past us. But when you've got the luxury of Joe Gomez, you don't want him to go.
No, the only way we were going to get sell him or rid of him, or however you want to put it, was if he wanted to go.
Yeah,
there was no way the club was going to let him go. There was absolutely, it didn't make any sense to let him go. But as I said, I think there must have been a conversation. Of course, there was a conversation, but I think the conversation would have gone along the lines of, look, we played 60 games last season. It's just not possible to play 2-3 centre-backs for 60 games.
Yep.
You will absolutely gain. I think he'll make around 20 appearances next season. I genuinely think that. I think he'll play around 20 games. And I think 20 to 25 games, I think he'll be okay with that. There may be some of them at right back, but I think he looked okay there. I know you said he wants to play at centre back, but I think there would have been a conversation and where he was suggested, like, if you have to play right back, are you okay with that? As we welcome Steve into the building. Steve, how are you, my man?
He's technically.
He's still saying that, but you get what I mean, Holmes? Like, there must have been a conversation where you may have to cover at right back. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, mate, you're playing for Liverpool Football Club. Like, if you can get minutes anywhere in the team and good minutes, you're taking that. Especially as a youngster, it's a different situation if you're a solidified world-class footballer that's walking in expecting game time in the position you want to play. But when you're Joe Gomez, you've had the injuries you've had, you'd feel blessed. Not only has he given us a lot in his time, the medical team, the fans, the coaches, they've been extremely patient with him as well, and I think he appreciates that. It's the whole thing about, I'll go on for it. Liverpool sign not just a player, but they signed the person as well, and it's a bunch of lads who are really appreciative of the surroundings and the fans and
the support, of the whole culture. You're spot on about that, because this guy is only 25 still. Oh, I can't believe he's still only 25. Yet when you hear him, when you speak to him, not personally when you speak to him, but when you see others speak to him, and he speaks so maturely, like he's elevated to this leader already. And that's what happens when you've been playing under the types of leaders like Henderson, Milner, Virgil, all these people around you, even Alisson, he's a bit of a leader himself, and he's picked up on these leadership traits. And I think we're gonna get the best years of him, because how many times have we said, well, I've for sure said that a defender doesn't peak until he's about 28. Yeah. And he's actually 3 years away from peaking, if you look at it like that, right?
Yeah, I don't even think it's just defend. I think it's footballers nowadays. Their peaks are coming closer to 30. Just the way nutrition works, the way a footballer doesn't lose that sharpness, that physical monster of a body that they have, essentially. And obviously with the experience just adds on to that. So now we're seeing footballers coming literally into the ages 29, 30, and we haven't even seen the best of them, and we've seen it time and time again. So I'm just excited for everything Joe Gomez can bring in the future. This guy easily, on his day, for me, easily the best, the most talented English centre-back. I think there's a couple that might come close, but I remember his first ever England game was against Brazil, and it was at Wembley, and I went there, and he was in the back three, and he, on his England debut, it was Neymar, Jesus, and Coutinho was the front three.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Joe Gomez, man of the match. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So the talent's there. The talent's always been there. I just pray that he just doesn't
get a break.
Do
you know when he got injured? Was it Southampton?
Oh, yeah. Mate. Yeah.
My heart stopped.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I was like, please let this be just a minor issue and nothing serious. Perfect timing, Steve's here. Steve, I was just about to read out this. I hope you're good to go. You okay?
I'm great. I'm superb, mate. Thank you very much for asking. Hope you two guys are well.
Well, I'm very well. And Omar's okay. Late in here, Michael says, how do you pronounce this first and foremost? Is it Michelle O'Connor? Michelle?
I don't know. I assume it's just Michael, but spelled differently. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Michael got to put the H in his name.
Late in here, but digging the fedora. Steve, what's a fedora? Is it my hat? I'm taking an educated guess.
It is your hat, yes.
Thank you, Steve. You can go now. But I was waiting for Steve, because I thought only he will know if this is a fedora. And lo and behold, Steve, being the knowledgeable one amongst us, knew that. Wolves F1 sends in a sticker of a super chat. Really appreciate the support, my man. Thank you very much. Steve, we were just talking about, obviously, the Joe Gomez deal, and there was one thing else that I wanted to look. As MK says, I was so down at the end of last season, after the disappointments he's talking about to the end, saying goodbye to Divock, Sadio, Taki. But the last couple of weeks have been pretty amazing. Good news almost every day. And today we've been blessed with the good news of Joe Gomez here for another 5 years. Well, contractually here for another 5 years. Just what do you think?
Brilliant news. And the evolution to our chat a moment ago. This is what happens. Things change, clubs move on, but we're doing all the right things with all the right people. You can make a case for it is time for those guys to leave the club, and we do say bye with a heavy heart. But it's evolution, and getting Joe Gomez signed up today is a proper step in the right direction. You couldn't replace him with another English centre-back of his ability for any less than 30 or 40 million pounds today. We seem to lose sight of the fact that prior to his injury, he was vying to be number one choice alongside Van Dijk, and it was really close between him and Matip. He's the future. He's a young lad. He will one day sit in the centre of our defence alongside Khanage, of that I'm sure. So's Virgil van Dijk, by the way, because he said as much. So great signing for the club to get him signed up. Really, really good that we've managed to sort of stop him being lured away by the likes of Aston Villa because we know there was interest there at a good price too for the football club. So, listen, Joe Gomez is, when he's fit, is one of the, if not the best English centre half available to Gareth Southgate, and absolutely, if he plays at all at the start of next season, should be in the World Cup squad because he's superb. So, I think it's a brilliant move for the football club. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too as well. I mean, me and Holmes pretty much said what we wanted to say. Just happy all round. I'm so chuffed for the guy himself. He's been through so much. He's been through hell and back, and the talent is there. I must admit, one of his. So, I've always thought the talent is there, but one of my criticisms of Joe Gomez, and it's absolutely fine to have criticism because that's some part and parcel of the game and opinions. One of my criticisms of Joe Gomez was his, I thought, a perceived lack of. I thought he was too timid. I thought he was too quiet, and sometimes I used to think his concentration wasn't that of an elite centre back. But how foolish was I, and not looking back and thinking how young he is, because we were just talking, Steve, just before you came. He's only 25 still, and these are the thoughts I had of him years ago. Back 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where he would have been obviously 21, 22. It just shows you that the maturity of a centre-back, concentration of a centre-back can improve and does improve by the more they play and the people around them. And I was telling Omar, one of the most impressive periods was, do you remember when not last season, the season before, when Matip got injured, Virgil got injured, he raised his levels of leadership and concentrations. And you know what? I thought, wow, he's now ready to be a Liverpool centre-back for many years to come.
100%, and I share a lot of those sentiments. He did sleep a bit sometimes during games and get caught out, and relied on his pace to get him out of trouble. But more often than not, it would. But he still made the mistakes. He still lacked the concentration. He still lacked that, what you called, elite concentration and mentality in terms of bringing it all to every single game. I would agree. And then you said something else that resonated with me. It's the players around them. Now, these guys did a great job for the football club, and we shouldn't knock it. But Joe Gomez doesn't learn to be a world-class centre-back playing with Martin Scarce or Dejan Lovren and at times Ragnar Klavan. That doesn't happen, okay? And that's no criticism of them. Everybody, whatever job you do, has got a level you can get to, and then someone else has to take over and take it on and make it bigger, better, stronger. Van Dijk coming into the football club has been absolutely pivotal to Joe Gomez's development. And you're right, it was very telling when Van Dijk got injured. Gomez stepped across and played on the left side of the central defence, and arguably became the leader of that defensive unit.
He absolutely did.
Yeah, so let's be right about it. That's been recognised. I think Klopp's words today, he's the best in the world, which is typical Jurgen Klopp. Will make the guy feel $1 million, and he will be absolutely 100% fastened on to whatever we do next season. He's in it to win it type of thing. He's got his new contract. He's got the backing of his manager, which is all you can ever ask for. And as Virgil van Dijk says, and I said before, there will come a time when he will be the custodian of the starting berth in the centre of defence. So I agree with you, mate. It's okay to have criticisms. It's okay to look at things and say, I wish he could do that differently. I wish he did that better. That's fine. That's just how it is. But he will begin again now to learn from Virgil. And don't forget, when they both were injured, they made their comeback on the same night. And it was like two brothers stood there on the touchline side by side, and they came on at the same time and had a hug coming onto the pitch. So there's a special bond there, and hopefully that continues to grow. And hopefully his education and his awareness of what's going on around him will be nurtured and developed by playing with Virgil and Matip, because Matip was absolutely tremendous last season. So 4 absolutely top draw centre halves. How far have we come in sort of 18 months since we had the injury debacle? Look where we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Omar, I'm just trying to segue into this chat. I've got a super chat from Aneda Stark. It says, the think style of play is changing, has been never replaced Firmino. Jota doesn't have the traits, and Nunes will take time. Jota, the reason why I've segued into this super chat is Jota is also on the verge of getting a new contract. So how do you feel about that one? It just shows you again, We bring in players, you show us you can perform, and we will reward you accordingly. Another great move, in your opinion?
Who's that directed to?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's two things about this. First, on the super chat, I think they're right. The style is changing, but a change of style doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Like Man City's style is changing with getting rid of the false line and getting Haaland. Everyone changes. I think our style, to be honest, it changed by playing Mane in the number 9. We'd been so used to that sort of Firmino 9 role, even though people had their criticisms of Jota. Jota was sort of that guy who'd try and link play at times. And before his injury, I thought he did a decent job. Obviously, Firmino's so unique, so special that you can't really get another Firmino. So if you can't get another Firmino, you've got to sort of go around it in a way that you need to adapt and still maintain that level. And with Núñez, yeah, we're going to have a 9. We're going to have someone running in behind constantly. We're going to have a presence up front. And it's exciting to look at. On the contract situation, I think it's really interesting. I'd absolutely love to see a breakdown of all the contracts and like what they are, like in terms of the value, because there was a wave of contracts last summer. There's another wave of contracts happening this summer. Everyone's probably going up a level. So I know people talk about the wage structure, but God, FSG are giving a lot of people a lot more money, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. So I think Jota is someone who deserves it, and he goes under the radar just because he didn't have the best finish to the season. But my God, he's someone that I guess he's in the ilk of maybe a Dirk Kuyt sort of guy who is going to score 15 to 20 odd goals a season. I'd say he probably scores more than Kuyt. He probably will score more than Kuyt, but yeah, I think he's someone that's going to play a crucial part next season. And I think the hype around him at the start of the year sort of faded as Diaz came, Mane came into form. So yes, it's well deserved.
Steve, you know what I wanted to touch upon, and first I'll get your thoughts on Jota and everything, but I like that comparison. Not stylistically, he's nothing like Dirk Kuyt stylistically, very different. But I see what he means there, almost by in terms of underappreciated type thing. Like Jota, like Kuyt was underappreciated. I mean, of course, not by his coach, and but sometimes fans used to just say he's a bit of just hard work and effort, and the quality may not be there. Same thing with Jota, but I think he's deserving of this potential new deal and contract as well.
I would agree. I like the comparison too, and I think that comes down to when things are going well, you don't hear anything. When things are going badly, you hear plenty. So we know what we're going to get from Jota every single week. We knew what we were going to get from Kuyt and they don't surprise you. Jota's more of a goal threat than Kuyt was. Kuyt worked a lot harder in other areas than Jota ever would, and was probably better in deeper positions than Jota was, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, he's worthy of a contract. We sleep on Jota, we really do. We shouldn't, because his goals, his GA, his last season was sensational. There are parts of his game he needs to improve. He's not brilliant at link play. He's not particularly great with his back to goal. He's not Bobby Firmino, but then nobody is. That's a one-off. You can't replace him. You can't bring in a like for like. That's kind of the one and only. And when that's done, that will be the end of that. We have to move on and think and do something different. So yeah, we're evolving. We've got different players in, do different things. It's always good to evolve, not to be stagnant. So I would totally agree that he's earned his contract extension. I think he's been a bit of a victim of the fact that we went out and bought an instant superstar in Diaz, who came in and hit the ground running, and everyone thought, wow, how good is this guy? And forgot about Diogo Jota. We've gone and done it again with Núñez, and basically now everyone's gone, wow, we've got Núñez and Diaz and Salah, and we've forgotten about Diogo Jota. That Holmes is right. If you get 15 to 20 goals a season, you've got 4 or 5 players doing that. By proxy of the number of goals those guys get you, and I said this last season, you are in the running when the silverware is given out at the end of the season. Those goals get you to positions where you win competitions and tournaments. In terms of going forward for Jota, he's got his work cut out. He's probably, and it's probably not unfair to say it, 4th choice right now. we didn't just spend £80 million on Nunes to not play him. He will play, and he will be near the front of that pecking order. And then maybe Jota's marginally in front of Bobby right now at the moment. He might not be marginally in front of Bobby. He might be somewhere in front of Bobby. We don't know. We'll see how that pans out across the season. But he's worth his weight in gold to the squad in terms of what we paid for him and the output he's given us. And but for the knee injury in that what was deemed a pointless game away in Europe, we'd have got a lot more out of him. But that wasn't an impact injury. That was wear and tear, and that would have happened the next game anyway. So the meltdown was unnecessary. But he's a quality player, definitely worthy of a new contract, and will form part of a lethal front 5 or 6, which hopefully next season will get us very close to where we want to be.
It's mad, isn't it, Holmes? Like the way Steve spoke about it is true. Like we've spoken about the defensive depth. And now we've just literally spoken about the attacking depth and Jota being 4th or possibly 5th choice, which is wow, just wow. Like if you take us back about 12 months to whatever, people moaning about squad depth and all kids doing squad depth charts on Twitter and whatnot, and how you like us now kind of thing, right? Of course, the midfield conundrum that people will speak upon in terms of maybe quality in depth, but
I think midfield's probably
But in terms of numbers of depth throughout the squad, we're up there.
Yep. Yeah. I think in terms of numbers, the numbers are there. We have, if you add Fabio Carvalho to that front line, that's 6 people that I think everyone tips him to explode. You've got Nunes, so you've got 6 people there who probably think they're starters, and in any top squad, you need that sort of competition. You need that competition to push the levels, because if you have 1 or 2 bad games, you're out. You've got Jota coming in, you've got Firmino coming in, you've got Carvalho coming in. So someone like Diaz, I think Salah's. I think you know what you're going to get from Salah. It's so hard to replace Salah, but Nunes knows he's not just going to slot in and just have time to settle in. Like, it might take time, and he might be in and out of the side originally. But you've got Jota coming in. You've got Firmino coming in.
This is it. I think there's no pressure. I think it relieves pressure of the likes of Nunes coming in, and even Diaz to a certain extent, knowing that you've got the likes of Bobby, Jota, and Salah already there, tried, tested, won the trophies, got everything in the bag. So. But you're right. And also, not only if you have a bad performance, but because of the way our sports scientist team work, they will know who needs a rest. And that's key, isn't it, Steve? Because it doesn't have to be a bad performance. It can just be knowing that there could be a possible decline in your output because of the amount of games you've been playing. But don't worry, Jota can be replaced with Bobby Firmino for a couple of weeks. Give him a rest, and that's crucial, isn't it?
100%. How many times have we watched the Jurgen Klopp press conference and he's gone, I'm waiting for the smartphone to go to tap so the scientists can tell me who I can and can't have this weekend. And it's crucial. We're bringing in players that can execute the game plan. We're bringing in players in Bobby that can do something different. Cast your mind back to a couple of games last season where he came off the bench and made a massive difference when we were a little bit stale in terms of our options in the front in the final third. So it's crucial. That's really crucial. Again, we've talked about this many times. That works tremendously in the front line, and it works tremendously in the back line. Our only cause for any slight concern would be the bodies in the middle of the park. We've talked about this till the cows come home, the need for strengthening that area. But there's still 7 or 8 bodies in the middle of the park that can come in and do the job. And there will be games when we go longer with the transition because we don't want to play through midfield in terms of through a creative aspect. So you find against teams like Chelsea, we go a bit longer rather than play it through midfield purely because they're combative in midfield and they can match us man for man. So I think it's really interesting. It'd be really good to see the rotation. I think the rotation this year was really key. If you sit and go through minutes played, you'd be surprised how many minutes some of these players have had. And it'll be the same again. October's an awful month for us in terms of games. I think there's 15 games in October, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And that's because of the problems with the fitting in the fixtures ahead of a World Cup in December or whenever it is. So that squad's going to be tested. It's going to be absolutely crucial. And, God Divock Origi was tremendous. What a player he was for us. And Taki did their bits and pieces for us as well. But the 6 names we've got now, and it's interesting how closely Klopp's watching Carvalho in training. It's really, really intriguing to see that. Those 6 names will contribute on equal measure throughout that period, rather than having to dip into tier 2 to pull Taki in for a game and watching the fan base go, oh, Taki's playing on the right. Cade Gordon will become a feature as the season goes on. So really, really interesting, really great. And I expect to see all of these guys get lots and lots of game time. And what a position to be in, to be able to look at that pot of attacking players and say, I can take him out this week because he needs a rest. But it doesn't matter because I've got Diogo Jota to come in. What a position that is for the manager to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm total agreement with this as well, what Red Sai says, Arms. They all play so differently as well.
Yeah.
So Klopp now can more variety to his game. And that's what we're looking for, right, Omar? Because another criticism levied at us was the lack of variety in our attack. It was like, get the ball out to Trent or Mo and then pull it back, or Trent putting a cross, Mo cut inside, try to go for the corner. We have got a lot of ways to attack now.
It's not just a plan A, B, C. It's a plan A, B, C, D, and E with the 5 substitutions now. You've got. So if you need a game where you might need to make 2 changes up front, you might want a new sort of combination like a Firmino and Jota. You have the options. So I think the fact we have that depth, you're not dropping. A lot of teams in the Premier League, I think, sadly for them.
Sadly for you as well that you've frozen.
Yeah, sorry.
You're back now. It's okay.
Yeah, a lot of teams in the Premier League, they've not got the luxury of our depth. I think it's only really us and Man City still with that high quality depth that if you take a player off, the level's not dropping down. You've still got someone coming in that can perform at a high level. So I think people are such an underrated factor. It works so well for us in the Champions League, the use of 5 substitutions. So on the forwards as well, you've got 6 absolute killers up front now. Let's not make any mistake about it.
Okay, let's say 5.
5, and
you can't put Cavani in the absolute killer. That's like we're going into average. We're just calling everyone before they've even stepped on a pitch.
No, I agree. I just anticipate him to be.
Okay. You got carried away.
He's excited. He's excited. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just see no reason why he can't flop. But that's just me looking at this guy thinking he could take it to a different level. But no, I agree. You've got 5 there for now. Whereas I want to echo Steve. We had Origi, we had Minamino, and they did their job so well. We knew their role in the team, but the output now from those 5, it's going to usurp anything that we used to be able to call upon on the bench. If there are a couple injuries in that front line, you've still got a couple people to come in that the level's not going to drop. That's the most important thing. The levels won't drop, and that's what I'm so excited about.
I am as well. Just excitement all round. Just to finish off with the news of today, because we've been going over an hour now. We've discussed the other rumours, the headlines. Sorry, just something else pretty much confirmed now is the Neco Williams. Steve, we've managed to squeeze 17 million in the region of 17 million for Neco Williams. I think it's great business, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. Your 4th, 5th choice right back goes out the door for 17 million. In a world where transfer figures are not massively inflated right now because we're still recovering from the loss of revenue from gate receipts from COVID. I think that's been reflected in particularly, let's say, the price for Raheem Sterling's very low for what he is and what he's done. And for Neco Williams, a guy who played 14 games, I think it was 14 games, I have checked, in the Championship as part of Fulham's promotion run. To get 17 million with add-ons out of that is absolutely brilliant business. We're in a great position. We've got another brilliant guy in there at the helm doing the transfers, both incoming and outgoing. Carrying on the great work of Michael Edwards. Mr. Ward is doing tremendous things already, mate. And to get 17 million for Neco is He's right up there with what we got for Jordan Ibe, which was insane at the time, wasn't it? And still is. So yeah, good move for him. We spoke about this earlier in the week. Really pleased for him. You never want to see footballers who feel they're wasting their career sitting on the bench. Shows great ambition, and who knows what the future holds for him. Fair play. Didn't let us down when he came in. Didn't give us enough to say, actually, we could probably use you more longer term. We let him go out on loan, covered himself in glory, and the ex-Liverpool youth team coach has decided now's the time to reunite with him and see what they can do in the Premier League. So he goes with our best wishes, as they all do. Very rare that they go with sour taste in their mouth. Good luck, and well done for getting 17 million for what was a fringe squad player, really, if you look at it. So it was a really good deal. You're right, really good deal.
Any final thoughts on the Neco Williams scenario? I mean, it's just a win-win, isn't it, for all parties? He's got himself a coach that knows him very well from his time at Liverpool. They're still in the Premier League. There'll be plenty of hype. The atmosphere at the City Ground will be amazing. As Steve says, we've got rid of a fourth choice right back, possibly for 17 million. Just happy days.
Yeah, I want to echo Steve. It's up there with the Ibe deal, the Brewster deal, the Brad Smith deal. Like, so many deals.
Dom Solanke.
Although I tip Dom Solanke to do well in the Prem this year. I think he's got a point to prove, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we still got a lot of money for him. I just want to echo what you say. I wish him the best.
Are you back?
Sorry. He's someone that I think he'll have a good Premier League career. He won't hit the heights of a Trent, but yeah, he's a good, and I think he got a lot of unnecessary hate in that sort of disaster year we had in COVID because we had centre back issues, and he had to play a lot at right back because Trent had a few injuries here and there, had COVID, but yeah, other than that, he's stepped in well. And I think even before he went out on loan to Fulham, the first part of this season, I look back at Leicester in the cup. I think this is one of the first shows I ever did with you, Grizz. We look. It was the post game review, and we just looked at Neco Williams and we're like, this guy's just turned into a man in this game. He's really just come on, taking it full on, and he's been brilliant at Fulham. So yeah, I wish him the best.
Yeah, it's a great signing for them. Obviously, Fulham weren't able to sort of match the bid that Nottingham Forest came in with. I believe Nottingham Forest came in with a figure of about 11 plus 5 to start off with, and then it was 12 plus 5, which we've accepted, 12 million with 5 million in add-ons, bonuses, etc., etc. We just can't refuse that kind of deal. I think, as Steve says, Julian Ward's off to an absolute amazing start to his tenure. Taking over from the legend that was Michael Edwards, and long may it continue. People, that's enough for today. There's still 300 of you in here. Please like on your way out. Thank you very much, Omar and Steve, for joining us. We'll be back. Oh, Ohms, are you going to be back in a couple? What situation?
Yeah, we're doing Young Bucks at 10. So guys, tune in. We've got the the United fan you wanted me to contact. We've got him, and Hamza, the Man City fan, who's quite a interesting character, but very good value for money. So if you want a Man City fan who thinks it's a club of heritage and is the biggest football club in the world, then tune in. But yeah, it's going to be a good show. So yeah, see you there.
Cool. There you go. Pixelate Pigeon. We'll be catching up on the show later. Quick message to say, smash the like button and consider supporting Grizz by becoming a member. Thank you very much for that. On that note, I'm not sure if we've got a daily tomorrow. We will have a call-in maybe tomorrow or Saturday. And then obviously the RedFellas will be back on Sunday, where I guess, Steve, we start previewing some actual action, because am I right in saying that we play Man United on the Monday?
And then Palace on the Friday?
Yes, but we'll speak about the Monday. In fact, what we'll try to do, I'll rack the guys' brains and we'll try to get a predicted lineup. That should be fun.
Wow.
Yeah, well, this is it, mate. This is it. This is the part and parcel of the game. Predict, and let's see who gets the closest. How's that for a game?
That's going to be tough. That is.
It's going to be tough, but I'm here to ask the tough questions. We don't want to ask the normal, boring questions. Like,
surely there's some sort of prize for whoever gets like the most correct players.
Can you please stop getting carried away with prizes and rewards and money? Please, can you let me grow first to be in a position to grow prizes? Anyway, guys, this has been the Daily Grizz. We really appreciate your company. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much. Over and out.